for every single control point.
So as predicted, Volskaya taken, this and Tomb of the Spider Queen, the best maps for Team Liquid when it comes to their win ratio. But of course, looking over to Leftovers, Team Liquid quickly identified that Leftovers usually struggle on Volskaya. So a great map choice here for Team Liquid. And that is putting the pressure once again onto the Leftovers. And also, once more during the draft, the question, Phoenix, where is he? Do you first pick him again? Or do we start to see maybe a prioritization on Hanzo once more?
We're going to a point where it feels like there's some pretty decent strategies in terms of just shutting him down, right? Like the Mendy seems to be a little bit too much. Bans might be coming out for that instead. We really had Hatsua deliver some of those kills, especially that comeback started to get mounted thanks to that Garrosh.
It's just CC in general.
Yeah.
CC is just absolutely fantastic against Phoenix, since he dies pretty quickly if focused properly, and that's what a lot of the teams have been using. Trick did the same thing in the first game already in the previous series against Zealots, where they were playing a lot with Diablo, Hanzo, Malfurion. They were trying to get these, just like the C getting stacked, even Maiev in that game coming into play and getting the tethers in, and that's super strong if you don't have a cleanse on the other side. But even with a cleanse, you're going to struggle, since it's basically just a game of cooldown trading. But we have Volskaya coming up. Leftovers. They banned Abathur on the last map. They banned Abathur on Towers of Doom. Now the question is, do they adjust their own bans here? Do they maybe target Garrosh? We've been talking about the impact that Sport Billy has. And yes, indeed, Garrosh taken away.
That they do. Team Liquid, will they be a Medivh? They think they should give him up. And they're gonna stick with the Tracer ban.
Team Liquid is a team that really likes to identify a strength on the opponent's side and then continuously bans it out throughout the series. And especially Tracer is a little bit of a thorn in their personal opinion. They banned Tracer continuously against Diamond Skin in all 3 games that they played against them. And we have also Tracer being banned out against Method. Basically at this point, Tracer is just continuously banned by Liquid. That might at some point become a bit of a liability if teams start to figure that out more and think they can get away in not banning a particular hero because they just know that Team Liquid is always going to home in on the Tracer ban. But for now, it's working out really well for Liquid, who's always banned her. But yeah, it's their standard ban.
To be fair, also at the same time, all those teams that you mentioned all have star players when it comes to Tracer, right? You have Rosmek there for Diamond Skin, you have Schwimpy for Method, and then for this battleground, DAB, pretty strong on Tracer. But something to definitely consider as we move forward in the next couple of weeks. Stukov and Hanzo will be our immediate answer back for Team Liquid, and the Medivh taken away from TL, and we're going to get Medivh and Diablo combo, one that we touched on the Towers of Doom map.
Exactly, so Medivh Diablo going to be played here. That not only allows for Leyline Seal into APOC, we still see occasionally the Polybomb played instead, but more so it allows Diablo to be a lot more aggressive since he will be saved by Medivh no matter what happens. You always will have that portal at your side to move out of the fight again, and of course you're going to see the shield. Medivh alone with Phoenix is already another great tool here, so I think the opening that we see for Leftovers is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, their control point control is going to be pretty stellar, especially if they're able to round it out with maybe a melee assassin to get in that front line and be able to lock down a target. Malfurion gets banned out.
Which is most likely going to result, like, I like that we have these snap calls here from the Leftovers. They really have a very clear idea of what they're trying to draft here and what they fear they could go up against. And Varian is of course another big threat to Phoenix. We've seen it on Infernal Shrines when Trick was playing the Zealots. Zealots were trying to use Varian to just shut Phoenix down. It didn't quite work out for them, but it was still pretty dangerous for Phoenix to engage Varian in any situation. The Shattered Throne 13 was pretty brutal for him to deal with, and also Taunt, of course. Can never forget about that. So another solid ban for Leftovers.
It showed the potential, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Of that Shattering Throw being able to pop on. We had one moment where it was used by Mob Steel, completely deleted the entire shield, and if there was some way for them to engage afterwards, that Phoenix would have fallen. So Leftovers don't want to deal with that. They ban it away. Team Liquid grabs their own melee assassins, 2 of them actually. Thrall for that side lane, and then Maiev comes out once again to play.
Yeah, Maiev once again. Nurok on the hero. Question is how do Leftovers react. Rhaegar is very likely for them. Normally it's their go-to when Stukov and Malfurion are already taken away, and that's...
Whoa.
Oh! That must sting, Alex. It's not you who plays Chen in HGC, it's the Leftovers.
This is old Chen too, this isn't the new one.
Yeah?
It's been changed to talents. Okay.
To be fair, interestingly enough, most players that have talked about Chen so far feel that the changes on Chen don't impact the hero at all because it's talents that usually don't want to pick, and the buffs to the talents, in most opinions that I've heard so far, don't really warrant for changing the build. So that's at least what I've heard from quite a few so far. We have, of course, not seen it in any kind of competitive play. But then, to be true, Chen hasn't really been played in competitive in Europe. But now we have him, also with the best skin, of course, War Master Chen being taken here immediately. If we have the Panda in play, then we also have to talk about fashion.
Now, something to consider is that Wandering Keg is actually something that you can use against Maiev when she drops down her Warden's Kedge. You pop out the Wandering Keg, and you can clear out the entire wall because you're unstoppable during it, and you hit the hitbox on it, meaning your team can disengage if Maiev comes in for the fight. So I'm kind of excited to see if that is the option that Leftover's going to go for, regardless if Nubrak comes in for that 5th pick. But Chen getting picked on Volskaya Foundry in game number 2. Leftovers have shown us some odd surprises in the past. Remember Nova on this battleground. And now they go down the route of a Warrior main. They're going to pick up that Chen. Will it pay off?
I'm always happy when I see Fat Illidan.
See if you can dive in there. Usually has an Abathur with him to help out, but no Abathur. Chen all by himself.
Oh yeah, Fat Illidan with an Abathur hat, that is a nightmare. Or at least it was in the past. But Chen has fallen off pretty quickly.
That was MSB meta, right? Yeah.
But at the same time, now that we have Chen and HGC, it also means that he's going to be nerfed pretty quickly again.
No Chen. Don't nerf him anymore. He's fine. Buff him. Give him a buff.
Give the Panda some love. And I'm not talking about Lily.
Balance. Well, I'm shocked. I'm actually ready to just go into game number 2.
I'm just happy.
Yeah, I want to see how it's going to pay off for them. Is it that heroic they're going for? What is their intention behind it? Looking at the CC, I mean, there's ways for it to be interrupted. You got Maiev, who's able to bring that tether, bringing him in, and Nubrak comes in at the final pickup. Silence as well, make sure that he's not able to drink. So, Chen's a risky pick.
Yeah, I didn't really expect Chen to be picked here either.
Oh, really? Really, Caldor? You don't expect Chen? Wow.
To be honest, I was just about to mention that it would be a no, I mean, jokes aside. It's going to be fantastic to see how much he can do here. But yeah, the draft for them in the beginning was already strong, so I expected them to stink with the meta since they had a fantastic opening. But as the game starts up, we have to the left Nurok on Maiev, Sportbeat on Nubarok for Team Liquid, Stukov played by Splendor, Hanzo by Hazorbs, and Eternal on Thrall.
On the right side in the red, Leftovers, Lubber to play Diablo, DIB on Phoenix, Black Kidney on Medivh, Linked on Rhaegar, and Poribus. The main focus of today's game will be playing Chen.
All right. The boy's back. Chen is back in play. I am happy, Panda, no pun intended. Elusive Brawler taken here on level 1 for Phoenix. Once again, the advanced targeting. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how this is going to work out. Chen, is he going to deliver? Is this going to be the one hero that brings the victory?
You guys at home, what do you think? Will Chen get the victory? Will Leftovers be able to take on Team Liquid? Hit us up on Heroes Esports. Use the hashtag HGC. I want to hear what you got to say about this Chen pick. Also, let me know, what rookie is going to come in? Wandering Keg, Stormworth and Fire? Or do you think it's going to be a big feeder?
Yeah,
we'll
definitely.
See.
I mean, now that we have HGC Chen confirmed, we definitely need to hear a little bit of what you think about the pick. And also what do you think about the series so far. So hashtag HGC, hit us up on Twitter. Make sure that you check that out. And in the meantime, DAB already starting to move in. Here's Phoenix play, map number 1. It's looking pretty strong, even though they lost. There was a lot of focus on him. He ended up with 4 deaths. Now they need to see if maybe in this game they can turn things around and continue those early game leads, maybe hold on to them.
I figured it out. How do we distract our opponents from looking at Phoenix in a team fight? We pick Chen. It'll confuse them. They won't know what's going on. They'll watch the bear instead.
What is that hero? I've never seen this before. What's happening here?
Leftovers are a bunch of geniuses. Just kidding, as they're going to have their Medivh move in for the fight. DAB taking some damage. The Medivh actually comes in with a Force of Will and keeps him alive, and suddenly Eternal's in trouble. And this is where Chen is really good. When your opponent gets chunked down, he chases, and we have a dead Thrall.
Yeah, Thrall is down, and that also showcased again how much of an impact Medivh alone is going to have on this. When Phoenix was attacked, Medivh was immediately there, and that's exactly the protection that you need for him to make sure that DAB can still get out. There was a threat as the silence came through and Maiev started to focus on Phoenix again, but that was still well played. And as you said, on the flip side, Thrall just didn't have enough survivability once they went on him, and he went down. So great opening again for Leftovers.
That it is. Now keeping an eye on the Chen build. Elusive Brawler, typical pickup you see at level 1. Allows you to dodge out in those auto attacks, but going into level 4. Flying Kick no longer costs Brew, and you also get the damage increase while Chen has shields from 45 and Brew. So Deadly Strike coming in. Looks like we're going to get a little bit more damage from Chen as he's intending to chase. So the idea seems to be, okay, our opponents are probably going to dive on Phoenix. Cool. If we can make him survive, Chen can answer back and try to chase back and prevent your opponent from running away. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if he's able to pull it off.
I mean, you have basically a very tanky front line. That's what we're looking here at. And there's very little that Team Liquid can do to burn that front line down easily. So we have a very mobile and very tanky front line that can create space. And that space needs to be created for the main damage dealer. And that in this setup is, of course, Phoenix. So it's a lot about the protection, a lot about creating that space, a lot about also jumping onto Hanzo, for example, putting the pressure onto him, putting the pressure onto Thrall. Just make sure that those heroes can't go in too deep and start threatening Phoenix, Rhaegar, and Medivh.
Speaking of going deep, Lauber goes in for an engage and jumps on Hasselhoff. He's able to jump out, but he takes a decent amount of damage before getting away. Ponyboss starts streaking and controls the point, and his leftovers takes it over and gets 5%. Neurot comes in, though, as he's trying to grab a tether here. Can he get Diablo? No, not quite, as Eternal lands that wolf.
Now, Phoenix, in the meantime, is, of course, up at the top. So he's starting to push the lane out, and then the camp is going to try and push through, and that's where DAB is going to start his rotation to the mid lane. So leftovers just give up a few percent, just show patience, and now they come back in a 5 versus 4 setup because Thrall has to defend. If he doesn't defend at the top lane, they're going to use infrastructure, and they can't afford to do that. So a nice move here from leftovers, just giving up a few points and saying now we can recapture it because we put our opponent into a forced situation where they need to defend top lane.
Shen becomes the target, but a Force of Will comes out. Silence also being used by Splendor, but not quite landing on top of him. Thrall is getting top lane pushed in, so he should be joining up with the rest of Team Liquid pretty soon here. And there he goes, rotating on down. It's been a bit of a fight between our two. 48% to 34.
The Thrall is coming back down, but the advantage still goes to leftovers here. Now this is of course an objective where you can literally interrupt and start to go in at 99%. And that's one of the things we can see here a few times. A bit of a problem here with the stacking. There's still items in the hands of the teams, and in particular that means leftovers. And they're currently trying to go for a double turret setup. And once they have that, they can re-engage onto the control point, which is what we're seeing here. Team Liquid had the same idea, but they only hold one turret once that they take the camp here. So we have leftovers again in an advantageous situation, and they're trying to even improve that by putting pressure onto Sportbilly, who finds himself on half HP.
And he still has his burrow charge. He actually saves it to make sure he can engage for his team. Neurok goes in, and he's going to be able to grab a tether, but Sportbilly gets taken away. Neurok at the same time is low on health. DAB able to help finish that kill up. The 2 turrets come out from leftovers, and they secure 2 takedowns on Team Liquid and look to grab the control point.
Yeah, well done here. Podibus confirming the last kill against Maiev. And that was Liquid engaging into 2 turrets, and especially for Numerak, that proved to become a problem. We had 82 stacks for Diablos. Lauber was down for the entire duration, just coming back. But at the same time, when we're looking at Medivh, we have seen him now starting to pick up more and more stacks. So it's actually pretty solid play on the side of leftovers, and things are definitely going their way.
That Boulder Flavor coming online at level 7-4 Chen allows him to have the initial shield increase, goes up to 453 shields immediately, can drink up a little bit, and also it persists after the fight happens.
Must-have talent on Chen. Yep. Definitely one of his strongest talents on the hero. And that is what you've seen. If we see Chen in any competitive setup, that's the talent to go for. We also have the triple pandas now taken on level 10, so don't see the barrel here. Bit of damage with the first protector already achieved. It's mainly about taking the front line away, taking those towers down, and that's what they're doing here. Already trying to go into a setup where against Anubarak, trying to get a kill here with a quick drop on the heroic ability, but Lauber couldn't get the charge in before Sportbilly moved out of harm's way.
I don't think Sportbilly has that E button that fast in his life. He was out of there the moment Diablo flew across the screen. Sportbilly just now living, and Neurot comes in with level 10, and they jump on top of Chen, who has picked up the Storm and Earth and Fire. He was attempting to take out Eternal, but with Neurot able to lock him down, they're going to do just fine. Neurot getting a couple of resets in too, as he tries to continue to be a little aggressive, but with Podivas losing out on that Storm and Fire, he's able to go back into the full health chunky Chen.
Yeah. And now, of course, up to the top, we are going to see the play being made. Again, the aggression. Splendor needs to be careful. Arrows coming through. Medivh saves himself for now. And here comes DAB getting his ult through. Good damage output from him, but the ley line was also in play here on that back. So a bit of a problem with the setup here. Ancestral comes through. We still have Lauber in a spot where he tries to put the damage. No kill confirmed yet, but Liquid on the back foot once again as they're trying to escape. And Podibus actually heavily engages into this one.
Can he get the tether here? Neurok's trying to grab it. He finally gets him in and pulls him into the silence, but is the damage available? A couple of Fan Knights come out. Get some decent damage on Podibus, but he's able to pop out a shield and get on home thanks to the portal from Medivh. Back and forth fight.
And thanks to Boulder Flavor here, getting the immediate shield, and that was an important one. Also for Bleak Kidney 28 stacks on his Arcane Rift. Very important that he survived through the fight. He was targeted at half HP and barely moved away on the last moment. There was a couple of moments where there wasn't perfect synergy when it comes to stacking the cooldowns with the Leyline Seal here, for example. But still, it was a bit of a chaotic fight in which Leftovers just kept a clean head for most of the time and were able to then deliver a lot of damage and nearly go for a kill again. And they are always aggressive. Lauber with the engage, and he can't do that because Medivh is there. And with Medivh, you will have the portal and the shield. So for Chen and for Diablo, that Medivh factor is incredibly important.
That it is. And Leftovers having an experience lead once again against Team Liquid, similar to what we saw in Game 1, moving towards that level 13, working on item control with a control point popping up pretty soon here toward the north. They're going to need those items. This turret's important. Scorpio taking a bit of a damage, but again, able to burrow charge out while Nurok comes in to try and force a fight. The Dragon's Arrow has been used, but the warp over the wall, DAB able to escape. Eternal with the Earthquake is attempting to chase.
Here comes the Leyline though. Now Lauber can go for the combo, and he does.
The shove.
Get a couple out there, a couple of stuns. Sport Billy is in trouble. Cocoon has been used as well, and Kidney is in an awkward spot, but the portal is there. So immediately DAB gets saved. Kidney was also on half HP. He's still working on his quest. He's on 32 stacks, so he wants to survive a bit longer. But yeah, nice aggression from both teams here, and Liquid is definitely sitting in a spot where they say, "I'm not afraid to fight you guys."
What a fun fight between these two, honestly. Really good control between both of them. Splinter, again, saving the fight. Had Diablo be able to get that charge onto a target that may have been a kill, but he stepped up and walked past the Earthquake to make sure that he dropped in the massive shove in Diablo before he went in.
After that combo that we saw with Leyline Seal into Apocalypse, it was really important to get a good shove in, and also the Cocoon. Those two really negated most of the potential damage that could have come from the Leftovers. So Liquid definitely with great play here. And now they have their own 13. So we have a slight advantage again for Leftovers heading into the second objective. But when we are looking at it from a talent perspective, then the teams are on eye level now.
Body Boss controls a point and jumps up in percentage, up to 25 already. We're really trying to tell him, hey, maybe you should try to back up. But Body Boss says, no, I've got some brew, got a lot of health, and I'm going to chill here.
He has pressure point now, so he can, with a flying kick, slow the target either by 35% or by 70% if the target is soaked in brew beforehand. And that is putting a lot of pressure onto any hero that is up there at the front. Even, like, especially Thrall.
Yep.
For Thrall, that's going to be super awkward. Also Hanzo, if he can get that slow in. So Polyboss definitely starting to become a threat to the heroes that he jumps. And that also sets Lauber up for just moving into range and getting those engages he's looking for.
Bodyboss just eating an entire scatter arrow shot there thanks to the brew, able to drink up. Leyline comes out, and Diablo actually gets interrupted. Can't follow up with the APOC, but with the Warden Kids popping out, Team Liquid looking for their own fight. There's that Apocalypse popping in. Eternal low on health, but the Earthquake is keeping him alive.
Bodyboss is still with the Storm Earth and Fire in play here, and he can now go in if he wants to. Here comes the quick jump by Chen. He goes for Sport Billy. Nurok is also low. Here comes the engage, and Maiev barely getting out. Bodyboss trying to go in for the kill, doesn't confirm it. But now we have Leftovers in full control over the situation here. Damage output against Sport Billy. Again, a bit too heavy. Maiev on the way back, but the kill against Chen as the Panda goes down.
And Lauber also low. They have to disengage. Eternal comes in with the Chain Lightning. The Black Knee brings out that Force of Will. DAB, the next target. Tether comes out, but he is able to warp out just in time. That fight lasted 30 seconds, and Team Liquid was only able to grab one kill.
Team Liquid had a disadvantage because they didn't have the top fountain. Maiev actually walked all the way back to the keep to tap off at the fountain before they re-engaged. Leftovers losing Chen here. That was a big blow. They actually looked like they would come out of that fight slightly ahead simply because they were looking quite healthy, but then instead of going for the point, they started to look for another kill. Of course, very unfortunate from the perspective of Leftovers that they never confirmed that kill against Maiev, who was one hit away from dying.
Poor Billy being careful getting the heal as Lauber's trying to line up that shadow charge into the wall. Poor Billy just fine as he continues to tug a war against him. Now, Leftovers in a spot where they can contest, and they think they can. They actually pop down the Leyline Seal. Immediately, Sport Billy goes in for Cocoon on the Diablo to make sure there's no APOC follow-up, and Team Liquid will attempt to fight back.
Yeah, that was, of course, the arrow against 3. DAB. Ancestral saves Medivh for now. DAB is still in play, but here comes Thrall, and he goes down. Phoenix is dead, as we see Team Liquid on the move forward. 15.5 on both sides in experience, but Liquid is going to change that very quickly here. Trying to go for Medivh, barely getting out. Black Kidney rushing away, but of course this fort is forfeit.
And Team Liquid now should be able to jump up an experience, tie up against their opponent, hit 16 at a similar time. They maybe even grab a little bit more here if they want to rotate to the middle lane and get that easy experience. And it looks like that is the plan for them as they're already gearing up to push down. Chen, on the other hand, pushing the bottom lane to try and deny some experience. But Team Liquid, with the second control point, have now made this match very close.
Yeah, and Liquid is in a spot where they have taken the lead in experience. They have also, from an infrastructure perspective, taken a massive leap forward, where they can now drop the second fort. They can drop also the fountain. So for any future attempts to go for the objectives, it's going to be great for them. They're trying to take it down. No, there we go. Trying to confirm it even with another quick laser, but that wasn't even needed anymore. But they get even more value out of it. They have another 10 seconds, and yeah, the focus on the fountain. Take the survivability away. Take the sustain away from the lane. Drop the wall. Liquid is looking fantastic at this point.
Team Liquid just knows how to play this map, and they know how to run with it. But leftovers, they're trying to answer back. Leyline seal, Apoc comes out earlier. Gonna have the Force of Will on top of Chen as well. Splinter kites backwards. Hasuops attempts to jump over the wall, but DAB also is taken out. The silence on Lauber as well, making him low on health, and that's gonna be a reset on Souls.
Lauber was actually trying to go through the portal, and then it disappeared, and then he tried to re-engage and see if he maybe can get a kill. 2-for-1 trade in favor of Liquid. Diablo back to business already, thanks to the stacks, but this is looking like it could be another kill. Norok is already low. Can he survive through this? Ancestral comes in. Norok on the run. Portal trying to chase him off, but it's Rhaegar who falls first with another great shove from Stukov. We see Chen also moved out of the fight, and that keeps Maiev in play.
Neurok just dancing around his opponents with that Maiev, really counting on Splinter to follow up into that route, and he did just fine, bringing out that silence. Leftovers using multiple members and starting to lose map control, to be honest. Turrets now being grabbed here for Team Liquid as they continue to run with this lead. They're on their way to level 18 already, while Leftovers are just about to hit level 17.
Thanks to the last Protector and all the structures that Liquid took down, they have taken that massive lead in experience. You're absolutely correct. And that, of course, will put them currently in the pole position when we're talking about Storm Talents. Still 2 levels away from it, but the kill count has also started to heavily lean in Team Liquid's favor. 6 kills against 4. Leftovers now are starting to lose a lot of ground on this map, as we see Team Liquid going for the healing pulse, picking that up, and they play that item control game again that we've seen from them in the past.
Leftovers playing the slow here. They know they have to get Diablo restacked up. Currently only sitting at 9 minutes of the 100s he needs to get that reset if he ever wants to pull it off. Leftovers hurting here, while Mendy will go ahead and keep an eye on Team Liquid, but Team Liquid, they don't mind. Remember, that front line is going to get shredded, especially with his level 16 talent pickup here from Thrall. I love this against a Diablo. Alpha Wolf, wonderful for destroying any tanks.
Yeah, and also besides that, we now have again 2 turrets in the hands of Team Liquid. So it's not only the talent adjustments that we're seeing here. As you said, Alpha Wolf is absolutely great because it is a percentage-based talent. So against Chen, against Diablo, it's going to be absolutely fantastic for them if they connect with it. But also, again, the items. You have 1 healing pulse, you already have 2 turrets, and you can maybe even pick up more later on depending on when you engage in a team fight. But talking about team fights, here comes the ley line again, and the immediate cocoon, always the reaction by Team Liquid. And this time Medivh falls, DAB still with the damage output, but Liquid just has the answer every time, and they go for Lauber. Every time Medivh comes in with a ley line, the first reaction is that Sport Billy cocoons Diablo. Negate the combo, shut it down, don't give them a chance to use it. And then, as Medivh falls, Leftovers disengages, the cocoon is still there, Warden's Cage comes out, and they focus on Diablo. No chance for him to get away, so an easy double kill for Liquid. And that is maybe not quite putting the nail into the coffin, but it's pretty close.
I feel like it's putting the nail in the coffin, especially when we look at game number 1. Leftovers now with their Diablo, suddenly in a very squishy scenario, only 28 stacks out of 100, and constant picks happening like that. Rhaegar falling apart. Leftovers is where they run out of steam in every single match that we've seen him in.
Yeah, now you're in a spot where you're also, again, just stagger deaths, and that's the problem. So Liquid is going to grab this Protector. I don't think there's any way around this. But at the bot lane, there's still, scratch that, there's still a fort and a key, but they're already working on that situation, as they now can easily take the fort apart. And as Liquid is now starting to open up the wall, you can definitely tell what the thought process here is. They want to end the game. Yep. They want to go for the Protector, and they want to end the game with it. With a Storm Talent advantage, try and take that out.
Bill gets over the wall, but easily Burrow charges out. Leftovers thinking about maybe forcing a fight here. They have that leyline seal, but remember, they don't have Rhaegar.
More items available as well. They still have 2 heroes that don't hold an item, and we just saw another camp coming online. So there is a chance that Liquid is going to try and use it again, but here comes the engage as we're starting to move in. They want the kills, the cocoon is in, Billy is in trouble.
Billy's low, the healing pulse not enough. and Team Liquid loses 1. Leftovers about to have their Rhaegar here too. If they can buy some time, and they can with Storm Within Fire, they can get a full 5-on-4 here, even with the 20 disadvantage. And Leftovers starts to chase 20 bucks in the front line. Remember, he has that pressure point, so if anyone gets caught, Leftovers can get kills.
Leftovers is desperate right now. They need to make something happen. Here's the combo. Here comes Phoenix and the kill. Stukov is down. This is the chance that they have, and they can actually still take the Protector, maybe even. They're going in 97% on the objective. Leftovers is able to win that fight. Liquid overstayed at the bottom right at the keep, and Leftovers, desperate as they were, just moved in and said, boys, let's YOLO this. Let's go in and see what we can get.
And they did it without a healer. That's the most impressive part. Rhaegar was still dead. It was a 5v4, as you mentioned, and they find the kills. And now Leftovers are grabbing turrets to the bottom right, one on the bottom left, and Mendy's going to start soon. They're getting control of this point. Now, we will have a new Brett back in about 3 seconds, so there is a possibility that Team Liquid can come down and fight before that Protector is actually grabbed. But Leftovers will have the item advantage.
Liquid got slightly too greedy. That's what happened there. They wanted all. They could have moved back a bit earlier, grab the camp, grab the additional item, and then move in with a Protector with 5 heroes, a level 20 Storm advantage, and 4 to 5 items. And they just wanted a bit too much. And once that Inubarak was dead, all of a sudden there's no Cocoon left anymore. There's very little you can do around that. There's very little just to stun an opponent out, slow them down on the way to retreat. And now Leftovers are all of a sudden eye to eye with Team Liquid again. No keep has fallen on Leftovers side. They have their level 20. This is going to become interesting here as Team Liquid is all of a sudden on the defense. Great turnaround.
Diablo's starting to get a little robust too. Remember that 13-16 talent is online. They have to watch out to make sure they don't get slammed against the wall. He's a total of 80 of the 100 stacks. Thurno looking to stack a little bit, bringing out those chain lightnings while Nurok also scaring with that tether. But Leftovers thinking this might be the opportunity for them to go for a straight win, but DAB gets caught here on the side. Link brings out that cleanse. Yeah,
the arrow on the other hand misses, and they start to go in again. DAB also has his level 20, the Unconquered Spirit, so he basically has his indestructible version that he can use now in these fights. Once again, DAB under pressure. Here comes the Cocoon, they're going for him, and here it procs, the 20 procs.
The Ancestral!
Ancestral is not going through.
Wow!
Linked is just half a second too late, and that's the double kill.
They're going straight for the core here. They're chunking it down. It's down to 80. This Protector is actually kind of healthy. Leftovers is going for the win. Chin and Medivh doing their best to shell it down, but can they do it? It's not looking like enough. The Force of Will at the last second, straight into a silence, and no, it's not going to be enough. Leftovers go for the last second tip. Wait a minute, Storm Within Fire, dropping down to 30, dropping down to 25, but no, they finally get cleaned up. Team Liquid almost having a heart attack. They're able to survive, and they'll go straight for the bottom lane.
But can Team Liquid end? It's 25 seconds until Phoenix is back. I don't think they can end here. This is going to be close because this is a big map. It's going to take them a long time to cross the map. And there's 18, 17 seconds. The wall is not completely destroyed. I think this is going to be close. This is going to be really close. We don't see cooldowns on the heroic abilities yet, but if Leyline is available, if APOC is available, there is a chance that we see Leftovers defend here. Rhaegar, look at the timers here.
Cocoon is up too. They can try and force the fight, or
There's
at least
no
get
way
another
they can end
advantage.
here.
20 seconds for
2
Chen.
down, 3 back.
Watch out for Leyline. It's up in 10 seconds here.
3 are back.
Arrow
They
comes
can't
out.
end.
DAB.
They need a kill. They need a kill, and they need it fast. I don't think they can end here. Diablo is back to business. He has already the move. APOC isn't ready, though. The core is dropping. Liquid is going for it. And we have Chen back in just another second. Here comes the APOC. They have it finally. Liquid is still going for it. And they're actually pulling it off. They're going in for it. They take it down. The heroic abilities come back online a bit too late for Leftovers to change it. But that was still a bit of a clutch call here. If the heroics would have been ready already at the start, I think there's a chance that Leftovers defenseless.
Wow. Incredible game between these two. Team Liquid goes up 2-0. Just controlling that late game a little bit better. Got a little bit greedy, as you mentioned. And Leftovers almost seized that opportunity and got a victory, but Team Liquid still able to pull it out. And Nurok on that Maev destroying 82,000 damage.
Yeah, for that last fight, it was really unfortunate that we couldn't see the heroic ability cooldowns, but there was a chance. I mean, Liquid had to go for it, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Liquid cannot simply sit tight and then say, okay, we're gonna play this later on. 25 points on the core, you have absolutely no chance there. Not with the lineup, with Medivh that we see for Leftovers. So there was no chance that Liquid holds back and says, we're not going for the core. But if all the heroics are up, Leftovers could have maybe taken that, but there's the 2-0 lead for Liquid, which means that one more map is going to decide the match in their favor. And